last call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D., Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome into Last Call. Here we are, Friday, May 31st, the last day of the month of May. Can you already believe this summer is cooking here? We just started, but it feels like we're mid-swing already. Appreciate everybody stopping in to rock and roll with us here with Last Call. It's going to be a nice night tonight. We got one NHL game and loaded up in the Major League Baseball slate. Why wouldn't we? We're up 20 units on the season. Why wouldn't we go out there and just fire bullets here? Big stuff happening tonight, you guys. Appreciate you coming in to hang out, get that last bit of information before we try to go put them winning tickets together to smash these books. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun last night on that live stream. We cashed, we kicked some ass, we took some names, and it was just start to finish, win, 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 win. That's the way it should be. That's how we do it on the regular when the boys get together. The crew was rocking and rolling, and no reason that shouldn't continue as we get moving here, you guys. Guys know the deal. 3 things we ask you guys to do when it comes to Last Call. Smash the thumbs up button. It's just good business. Help everybody. Let them know that we're here doing this thing on the regular and going to continue to grind. We need your guys' help to let them see that Pub Sports Radio is doing it on the regular. Grab yourselves a pen and pencil, a piece of paper, write down the plays that are being shared here, not just by myself here and anybody else that comes on the screen, but you already know it's the sharpest chat in the business. Why wouldn't you want to write down what these cats have to say? They're out there winning, kicking ass, taking names. I get so many great DMs from you guys. I got a nice one. This morning I woke up to a nice bit. One of our community members kicked some ass and took some names yesterday. Over 10 units yesterday he was able to put in his pocket. Love seeing those messages out there, and shout out, respect, and all the rest that goes into it. Of course, guys, last but not least, throw your plays in the chat. Let's see what you guys have done here for your work today. Maybe you didn't get a chance. You've been grinding all day. That's okay too, but we're going to shout out everybody's action that's in there in the chat, and it's going to be a lot of fun today. We've got, you know the deal here, guys. We start off with the recap. Transparency is paramount. It's the most important thing to what we do. It was a positive day yesterday. We put up a couple of units in the bankroll, almost 4 units in the bankroll yesterday. So that's the way you want to be. We had that big bomb and then kind of idled around with some of the other spots, but that's okay because we grind and we grow. And that's going to be what it's all about. So we'll go through the recap. Then we'll jump in. We'll hit the NHL, the MLB, and a big show announcement to close things up. So no UFC this week. My brother's continuing to vacation. He's living his best life out there, and so he will not be around to give us his best UFC action for this weekend, but that's okay because, again, we'll go through the recap, the NHL, the MLB show announcement, and we'll get everybody out of here to get going on their weekends. Let's see what is, in fact, doing up there in the chat. Look at all these new members coming in here. Doug, Rob Free, Marcus McCarthy, Jarek White, Lit Picks in the house, Mano Mays, Morgan. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate it. It means a ton. We're listener supported. We need your guys' help to grow this thing. It's all about getting it in there, growing this membership, and becoming a bigger, louder voice in this marketplace. And, of course, you guys already know the deal. If you've been around for any more than a show, you already know Joe T, first guy out there to give us his best looks here. He says, let's get that cash. His MLB best bet, the Royals, team total over 3.5. Cease is going to get hit, he says out there. I mean, look, guys going Kansas City, likes them boys to go out there and get some runs. Giving you guys that team total over 3.5. What's up, Deer Slayers in the house? Let's get that money tonight, boys. Pen is ready, and here's our open. Deer Slayer, it's great to see you, man. Joe T says the NHL best. Well, of course, Joe T. What are you doing here, my guy? He says the NHL best bet. The Stars and the Oilers, the first period over 1.5, and both teams to score. I know that both teams to score in the first period is plus 175. There's Dave Burke in the house. What's up, Dave Burke? He says, let's share those book makers. It's good to see you, Dave. Hope all is well. Gerald Jones says Friday, let's get paid. Best bet, Cleveland team total over 4.5. Excuse me. Oldies up in the house says, what's up, D-Gens? It's Friday. That means everyone gets that direct deposit and the market is skewed. That's probably one of my favorite. Billy Briss tells so many great stories from his second string days in women's college basketball to talking to the Lion, trying to figure out who's going to win some of these big fights. But I think probably his Thursday-Friday relationship in terms of how people are getting paid was eye-opening for me. The rest of it made me laugh, but that one kind of made me think. I went, maybe Billy's onto something there. Shout out to you, oldie. David Wallace says, let's get this money. John says, birthday tomorrow, Mikey Money. I need all the pairs of grandma's undies I can get. We're loaded up tonight. Them undies haven't even been cleaned. They still got that stank on them. We're going to get that cash, my guy. Aubrey Travis says, Oilers, what up, Aubrey Travis? It's good to see you up in here. Nunya says, what's good? And there's Keith says, what's up, Mike M? I'm on the Diamondbacks Mets over 7.5 at plus 102. Let's go. TGIF. Good luck. There's my guy, Kenny Wood. There we go. I was telling you guys. He says, what's up? I didn't want to share it, Ken. I didn't want to share your name if you didn't want anybody to know, but I love the message Ken sent me this morning. Just a humble, appreciative cat that wanted to share in his success. And we love to see that stuff, man. Says, what's up, Mike? Big night yesterday, up 10.5 units. So let's continue to eat. Good job, Ken Wood. Good on you, man. It's one thing to, talk about the plays, hear the plays. It's another thing to put the plays down and get that cash. And you did just that, dude. So congratulations to you. Big night. Great way to boost that bankroll as we get into the dog days of summer. Big Show Picks in the house says, what's up, Mike? What's up, Big Show? How we doing, Mr. Red Checkmark? Let's go. Or Red X green check marks, right? Love the show you guys are doing out there, man. I see you guys have a lot of green check marks. Winner Circle says, Ayo, and he's on the Stars money line. There's my guy, Jay Peasy up in the house says, what up, mother puckas? Heavy on the Oilers. Need some MLB to add to my slate. LFG. And Winner Circle's giving T the shout out, of course. Shout out to T on the ones and twos. You already know he keeps it tight and right, keeping us moving like a well-oiled machine. Shout out to you, Winner Circle. And shout out to T, my main guy, rocking it down there. Keeping it moving. Let's go. Man Bear Pig says, ooh. Reminder to turn down headphones before joining Money Mike's show. Hey, man. Loud and proud is what we're doing here with these cashers tonight. David Wallace likes Baltimore moneyline. Aubrey Travis says Phillies, Dodgers, Guardians parlay out there for Aubrey Travis. Man Bear Pigs in the house. Kopansky. How can 50 be watching and only 30 likes? WTF? Come on, man. I agree, you guys. It's super duper important to hit them like buttons. What is this? Try our experimental AI feature. No, thanks. We're in the middle of the last call. Damn it. Let's go. Marcus McCarthy, what up? Let's go. Aubrey Travis likes the Yankees. And there's my guy, Juggler 23. The wise guy, WNBA plays, says Wings plus 9. Mercury Lynx under 165. And that's a 7-6-1 record on the year. We do have a WNBA play tonight. You know what? I snuck one in there. I needed you to remind me, Juggler 23. I needed you to remind me. I appreciate that. We got Austin Angler in the house. Says, hi. Love your energy. Appreciate it, Austin Angler. It's great to see you. Welcome on into Last Call. Rogue Energy says, Oilers, that is all. I think that's probably all you need tonight. But, man, we got plus money across the board. It's going to be a big, big Friday night. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day, my guy. Justin says, Mountcastle over 1.5 bases at plus 108. And look at Justin grinding, baby. 193, 194. Keep rolling, Justin McKelvey. Juggler 23 says, wise guy, MLB group plays under in the A's, Braves at 8.5. And the Orioles minus 130, minus 1-0. I'm sorry, minus 1-0 on the season for our guy, Juggler 23. Jeffrey Dahmer's in the house. Lucas Betts. There's my homie Lucas. He says Stars money line, the over 6. And the Dodgers Mariners money line parlay out there. Trisha M's in the house. Hello, my friends. TGIF. Hot as fuck in South Florida. Thank Lord for the Ice Cats keeping us cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun until it's done, Trisha. Get yourself ready because it's time for the off season down there in Florida. Trisha M says Juggler 23 to appear. New York has more rats than Florida. We're happy to let you keep them. Markel's in the house. What up, Markel? Juggler 23 says I'm still wounded from last night's Panthers Rangers game. Yeah, it was disappointing finish there, but hey, Bernier got his 2.5 shots. got a goal. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling out there. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's go through this thing here. I mentioned we'll do briefly fly through this recap. Look, we won the Detroit Tigers game. MLB was good there. Start. We went 3 wide in Arizona. That was not good. Gallen comes out on what, the second hitter? Second hitter of the game, and he's not getting the win if it's the second hitter of the damn game. It just started the thing. But, you know, the big score for us, them Nationals and the under 9. Big W for us there, plus 385. We could have gone on the 8.5, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. We'll take it. Plus 385 is plenty good money. The LA first 5 team total did not hit, nor did the RBI spot with Renfroe. The Rangers lost, but Lafreniere over 2.5 shots won at plus 104. Verhaeghe did not get his 3.5 shots on goal. And then we went down the line and we just beat them up in NBA. Had a 4-1 finish. Dallas plus 5. Dallas money line plus 176. Ant, how about the under 28.5 points for Ant-Man? Selfish son of a bitch. This is why they lost this game. He did nothing. He didn't get the points, and he didn't get the assist. He just was out there losing. And we did cash the Lively over 6.5 rebounds at plus 106. So that's the way you roll it out there. It was a good day yesterday, and we're going to try to bring her back and grind her again. Look, 1 shot, 1 kill isn't what we do here. We go out there, we load this board up, we find those spots that we want to attack, and we're just minutes away from a 12-0 or a 13-0 type of day. So let's go and do just that. Let's see what we got there. Juggler 23 says, Trishan, don't count your chickens before they hatch. The Panthers still need to win 1 more game. Well said, Juggler 23. Deputy says, maybe a round of golf, ? Old E says, Justin McKelvey, I see you, fam. Hope you're having a good one. And Kelsey's in the house, says, Mikey, happy Friday to you and the chat. What's up, Kelsey? And what's up, Voodoo Ranger? Why did Min win game 4? What a joke game 5 was. Yeah. Well, they had to do something, right? They had to do something to show they weren't just dead. they had to show that they were trying. And shout out to my guy, Nasty Nate, a.k.a. Mr. Trifecta, a.k.a. The Wrench. The guy's got more wrenches than a mechanic, also known as the mechanic here. Happy birthday to our guy, Nasty Nate. Take a second here, dude. I'll raise my non-alcoholic beverage here, but, you know, I'll be cheersing you later on tonight, my guy. I hope you're having a great birthday. Just remember, the more wise we get, it's because all them young Thundercats out there seeing everything for the first time. Hey, don't hate on the age, baby. Let's get it, my guy. Happy birthday to you. And again, have yourself a glorious day. Remember, we've seen all this shit before. It ain't new to us. All them other young guns out there. First time. Good luck trying to figure out how to handle it. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Let's go. We got it rolling, you guys. Let's get into this card. We got ourselves. Let's open up with the NHL tonight. Let's keep it short and sweet. Let's keep this thing moving. We'll keep that brisk pace. I do have a 6:40 game. I do have action in that Cardinals and Phillies game today, so we do want to get to that. But look, let's just kind of start this thing off. Let's fire around the horn here, see what you guys are on with this game as well. But you guys already know the deal. It's the Edmonton Oilers. Somebody at my house? Why's my door opening? The Edmonton Oilers are opening up. Road dogs out there against them Dallas Stars. Here we got 74% of the bets, 65% of the cash on the Dallas Stars. And then we see this total. Somehow this total's dropping. It's gone from 6 to 5.5. Maybe it has a lot to do with the officials of this game, because you know we went deep for this one here. Just trying to find those little opportunities that give us the edge. You know, and I think the big deal for this game here for me at the end of the day is I think it's an Oilers team. I told you this before. It's not a Dallas spot. Dallas just won, moving on to the championship in the NBA. They're not getting it in the NHL as well. This is the Oilers' year. I told everybody to start the playoffs. You know, they're not sitting in the front office thinking, let's get Pavelski a Stanley Cup. They're sitting there going, Draisaitl, Hyman, Bouchard, McDavid. What do we got to do? These guys need to get pushed into the Stanley Cup finals. And what do? They brought back the Sutherland official matchup for us. Last time they reffed this game was game number 1 of the series. That was a big Edmonton 3-2 double overtime win. And we've got these officials coming back. Where did the calls get made? There were very few of them. It was very much a 5-on-5 type of game. You know, maybe that does benefit the Dallas Stars in this case, because Edmonton doesn't seem to play stellar when it comes to 5-on-5 opportunities. But what I know about this is road teams this postseason, 43-34. They've neutralized the home ice advantage. They were 42-36 last season as well. This to me is just a spot where it's time to shut it down. It's time to get this thing moving in the right direction here. I think we've got this spot with this Edmonton Oilers team in Dallas. Dallas starting to look like they're not as deep as everybody thought that they were. We see Johnston and Robertson. Ben, I guess I'll give Ben another spot too. Ben's got a point in 5 of his last 5 games. So, certainly look to Jamie Benn as a guy to do something. But who do you got after that? Where the hell has Pavelski been? Ropey, whatever, just non-existent. But again, you look at the firepower, not only the front line when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers, but start going deep. Nugent Hopkins, even Evander Kane playing through the injuries that he has out there. The one bright light that I'll say that they've got rolling for them out there in Dallas is going to be Heiskanen. But outside of that, you need a lot more than this guy to be able to go get the job done. Corey Perry's one of the new additions that they brought in there for this Edmonton team because of some of the situation that happened with Connor Bedard early in the season. We do remember the alleged mother's trip, but it's going to take a lot more than Stankoven to get the job done here for me. Just a double dipper opportunity here. I'm going to take Edmonton at plus 114. I'm going to take the Draisaitl anytime goal scorer as well. Very rarely do I jump in there and kind of give those plays out here on the show. I think it's a first goal type of thing. I like to be involved with those opportunities because lower investment but higher return. But at plus 160, I love this matchup for Draisaitl. He's kind of been that every other game that he starts to make some noise. And I think it's time for him to show up. The stars shine bright deep in the heart of Texas. But in this case here, them stars happen to be Edmonton Oilers to get the job done. So we go 114 plus 160. Draisaitl goal out there. Shout out Jeffy D. I agree. Nothing wrong with it at all. Let's roll on, you guys. Let's get into some Major League Baseball. I told you here, we've got this first game. It's about to pop off at 6:40. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. In this case here, I got to hate on these Phillies. I'm not going to buy into these Phillies tonight. In fact, I'm looking the opposite direction and then some. Started the MLB season, I talked about last year and just how pathetic and anemic the St. Louis Cardinals were to start off a series. They have flipped that narrative on its head. Now we got this Philadelphia Phillies team that opened up as a huge minus 180 favorite, now minus 190 favorite, 89% of the bets, 92% of the cash on this Phillies team. Then we look at the total. All the money's coming in on them. 81% of the bets, 79% of the cash on the over. Went from 8.5 to 8. 8.5 to 8. Everybody loves this over. I'm going to put a step out there. I'm going to put it on its head. I'm going to say it for you guys. I do believe in the jinx. And the fact that somebody says they don't believe in the jinx and then throws their play out there anyways, you're fucking around with the wrong hex, my friends. This is an opportunity to jump in on the St. Louis Cardinals team. At plus 178, I'm giving her a roll right now. But I like the under more than anything else here. It's gone down to 8. I can get the 8 at minus 115. Simple theory. If we hex the team total over, then we got to go on the other side and play the under. But if Philly's team total's not getting there, then St. Louis has got a shot to win. Also, let's look at this deeper matchup. Let's dive inside here. Aaron Nola with a 3.04 ERA, 6-2 on the season. We talked yesterday about the stable of guys that may be due for regression. Not sure Nola's kind of fits that mold or not, but I do like the opportunity being the first game of the series. St. Louis has flipped the script for me in that situation. I'm not a big Miles Mikolas fan. 5.64 ERA, 3-5 on the season. But if I dissect that 3-5, he's reliable. He's consistent. His numbers aren't great, but he's able to give you, a steady up in the rotation every single time he goes out there. And to me, this is an opportunity where I see these bats, just like we've seen with the Yankees, just like we've seen with the Dodgers, and the Atlanta, of course, they're clusters. Even look at the Chicago Cubs today. Playing at home or playing in a situation with their bats that they have. They started off 2-0. They just couldn't get it going. They couldn't generate the amount of offense necessary to cluster through that thing out there. Miles Mikolas, when he's in the dog roll, total less than 10.5, he's 11-0 to the under. He's a perfect 11-0 to the under. And that 10.5 kind of feels like, hey, if he's not at Coors and he's in that dog spot, what's the average runs that we're seeing per game from both teams combined? 6.37 runs a game in those spots. Also, we look at the dog that's bigger dog in this 135 plus market. If the starting pitcher won the last interleague series or the last interleague game, he got 4 or more strikeouts and they trailed into the 7th inning, 30-7 to the under, essentially telling you that that starting pitcher is going to keep it rolling into that next game as well. All those signs to me point to fade Philly. Take this under. I looked at it a couple different ways. You can get the plus 1.5 out there at minus 120. I mean, I guess if you were trying to be safe, that's probably the safest way to do it. But it's a 640 start. That gives us time to build this cash, roll it over, build it again, roll it over, and build it again. I'm jumping in. I got the plus 178. I did not take the where are we here? Let me find this spot here. What I did not take was the same game parlay between the two. I've got plenty of those on the card tonight, but the justification I had behind that was I wanted to separate the two because it's such a huge risk reward to take this St. Louis team at plus 178 and taking the opportunity to fade. What did I do here? What am I doing here? I believe it was 275. I believe it was plus 275 to take the under 7.5 and the St. Louis Cardinals. I'd rather have the 8 at minus 115, and I'd rather have the Cardinals are now plus 180. That's just the way that when I looked at how I wanted to attack the game, where I wanted to spread the chips, if you will, this is the way I wanted to spread them chips here, and I want to get that big score. So plus 1.5, I certainly can't not endorse it. It's certainly a spot that now that's minus 115 as well. So, a little bit of late money coming in on these Phils. I just have a sneaky spot here. First game of the series, knowing that Miles Mikolas is coming in here in that dog roll, shutting them down. It should be an opportunity to at least cash the under 8 and then take that big swing up to try to turn 2 units into 3 with the opportunity for a strong likelihood of push. All about the mathematics when it comes to this kind of stuff, you guys. And you've heard me say it and preach it time and again. I didn't fuck with that Rays-Orioles game. I didn't fuck with that Pirates-Blue Jays game. What I did fuck with, and I thought about sharing this with you. I'll share it with you guys. I don't care. It's nothing official, but I parlayed the Blue Jays minus 1.5 and the Cleveland Guardians minus 1.5. It's plus 300. Just wanted to touch those games, but didn't want to get invested in those games, if that makes sense, right? So just kind of a little covering fire, I guess, when it comes down to it. But a game that I did get invested in here, there's 2 spots that this situation kind of falls into the card today, and they happen to be the highest graded trends that I have across all the dashboards that I utilize for the trend game here. You guys ask me time and again, where do these numbers come from? Multiple sources. It's all aggregate. I'm the aggregator trying to bring them all together. And there's just a lot of different sources that I find this information from. But this particular trend happens to fall under 2 categories tonight. And I love both these games. And we've got line movement, and I still don't care. The line movement's been in our direction. The numbers have moved. We'll talk about it. But the first game on the radar here is the Texas Rangers, the Miami Marlins spot out there. And it's kind of a weird one here. We've got this line opened up at minus 134, is now minus 135. We have 64% of the bets, but we have 92% of the cash on the Texas Rangers. Big money coming in. But maybe there's a perception with the public that Miami's starting to swing them bats, and that's very true. Then we have 92% of the bets and 94% of the cash on the over. It's climbed. It's climbed from 8.5 to 9. We have Six Toe. Six Toe's got 6.25 ERA and an O, and I laugh when I see him north of 5. Tells me you're desperate. You don't have anybody that's really rolling here, and this guy fucking stinks. 6.25 ERA, 0-3 on the season. Then we got Urena on the other side. 3.53 ERA and 1-4. We talked about, cluster bats, cluster performance out there. Where the fuck is Adolis Garcia? I see Corey Seager's trying to do his thing out there, but struggles to get bases when they're just struggling to get hits. Nathaniel Lowe's another guy. Can't seem to get the consistency rolling with these bats, and kind of a little dangerous where you start to see they've got some guys on the other side here, despite losing, why is it escaping me now? Despite losing, who's the dude that went over to San Diego? Anyways, despite some of that, it was addition by subtraction. Now they're starting to see some continuity and some consistency from Chisholm. We've got guys like, looking down the lineup as well. We see Brian De La Cruz, other guys in there, Duran, guys that can seem to make the job happen. And it's a little nerve-wracking. But the way I chose to play this one here, couple things for you guys. I'll give you the first one. This doesn't apply to both of these teams that I was talking about. This one just applies to this particular game. Favorites, first game of the series, interleague series, 27-5 if they won the previous game or lost by 1. So as long as they didn't get blown out. Total average in those spots, we're seeing just under 8 runs a game. In those first game interleague series situations, 27-5. The favorite is winning by an average of 2.5 runs per game. That lands me on this Texas Rangers team, but not just the Texas Rangers team, because I'm jumping in. I parlayed this one up here. I've got the Texas Rangers at -130. Then I added the under to it. I don't know who's moving this thing up to 9. I don't know what maybe I'm in the minority here, but when I look at this game and I see these two teams are averaging 6 total runs combined between the two of them, unless Sixto gets bashed like the proverbial baby seal that we've seen swimming around so often on Last Call, I don't see how it's going to happen here. And it's +232, the Texas Rangers and the under 9, +232. We got that with the Texas Rangers at -130. It's a double dip spot for me. I'm not going to mess with that first 5, though. I'm not mad at anybody that wants to jump in there and try to play that first 5 or the team total in the first 5 for probably the Texas side of things here. But this is a Texas Ranger spot. This is an under spot for me as well. And the fact that it's moved to 9, take the 9 straight up as well, depending on what you got rolling. Oldie says at Pub Sports Radio, where did that should Mike free the beard pull in? That was Jose that put that out there. That was young Jose Bouquet. Why should I not be freeing the beard, right? Let's go. Kelsey says, Mikey, what in the world is the clubbing baby seal play of the day? Maybe it's this one, Kelsey. I mean, shit, down in Miami, you got to be close to some seals, I would imagine, to some degree. What's up, Dan, my brother from down under, hanging out there. Guys, the other trend that I told you about that does apply to 2 games today, the non-divisional road favorite coming in with rest. 160 and 65. 160 wins, 65 losses. They had the day off in between the travel spot out there. In fact, it's one full day off in there. Big Show says great beards don't have time limits, man. Listen, yeah, Nasty Nate's catching up, but we're all young bucks at heart. So appreciate it, Kelsey. Thank you. Let's go. Picks from Dave says when the wind is blowing in from the east and the roster is cruising, listen, Dave, you only make fun of it because you're not willing to embrace it, my guy. Embrace something different. We don't just need somebody to feed us the numbers and say, okay, now go look at your books and doesn't match up. You got to be innovative in this thing, and that's why we're up 20 units in Major League Baseball. Embrace it, Dave. First game of a series. Here we go. If they won the previous game or lost by a run, 27-5. That's right. Shots fired. Let's go on to this next game here with Arizona. Let's talk about this Arizona-New York Mets spot there when we look at it. We got Arizona. You forgot the sprinkles too, Dave. You forgot the sprinkles. We got to put the sprinkles on the Sunday. What happens if they had sprinkles last night as well? I know who is that guy that doesn't show up anymore that was talking about the sprinkles on the Sunday? I don't know if he burned through his bankroll or whatever, but I remember there was a guy that used to talk about sprinkles on a Sunday, and I remember telling him, I don't know what you're going to be doing in 3 months, but I'm going to be still doing the same shit that you're seeing right here. Let's roll on. Arizona Diamondbacks, New York Mets. What a bum fight yesterday. What a shit show situation out there. To see these guys, second, was it the second pitch? I know it was the second hitter. I can't recall how many pitches we had gone through to see Zach Gallen. What, he nuke his foot? I just remember somebody telling me about it because it happened so damn fast. And what a disappointing spot there. We look at this game now. We've got this line for the New York Mets opened up at -112. Is now -120. 75% of the bets and 63% of the cash on the New York Mets. When I see this situation like that, I see that, we've got the bets being the public, the money being the sharper cash. And I look at the two and I think, all right, well, the public loves the Mets. The public has moved the number, but there's a perception somewhere that maybe it's not all New York Mets when we see the smaller number being the percentage of cash on the Mets. This line for the Arizona Diamondbacks moved from -104 to +108. Then we see 7.5s, 87% of the bets and 85% of the cash. They're called Jimmies too. Some parts of the country, Dave. They're called Jimmies too. I don't know. I don't call them Jimmy. I think that's an older person thing. And we're getting on the elder side of it. But anyhow, the totals from this game has started at 7.5 and it's moved down to 7. Everybody's pumping in on this over. It's Monty Montgomery with that 4.69 ERA and 3-2 on the season. Luis Severino for the New York Mets with a 3.22 ERA, 2-2 on the season as well here. I think this for me, well, I'll take a step back. C-Mac talked about this game yesterday. He talked about the Mets. He talked about their lack of bats, right? What was the final in that game yesterday? Was it 3-2, I think was the final score? There was no batting. There was none. And, unfortunately, there was that early bang that got taken down by the Mets there. After Gallen comes out, I think it was the second inning that they went out there and scored and went up. I don't know. Unfortunately, shit happens. But I think the same read still applies. This New York Mets batting offense is anemic. Arizona didn't do a great job yesterday either with two runs, no question about it, but kind of screwballed up with that change in the pitching staff out there. Here's the thing that I looked at too. This one doesn't have to do with sprinkles, but the Mets, Luis Severino, last start, 7 innings, 103 pitches. What does he do when he goes at least 100 pitches the previous game? 0-7 that next at bat or that next start for this guy here. So it's kind of one of my favorite scenarios that when a guy goes deep or longer than he has all season, you fade him that next game, especially some of these guys that go 8 or 9 innings. We're going to start seeing this now that we're kind of in that middle half of the season for Major League Baseball, where these guys will end up going. You'll see the 8 or even a 9 inning, trying to get the no-no. And that next game is a fade. Just fade them. Just blindly fade them in those spots out there. Success year over year because, it's kind of that, you're off your best game, your best game ever. Of course, you're going to have that opportunity for regression because we are the numbers on the back of our ball cards. In this case here, this is the Luis Severino fade spot there. 7 innings, 103 pitches. He's 0-7 after he's gone at least 100 pitches the previous game. We got them Diamondbacks and that opportunity with them sluggish and cold bats that are the New York Mets. We got this thing at plus 108 right now. We're going to take this Arizona Diamondbacks team. Look, we measure everything here in 1 unit, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not 1 unit on that game. This is a great opportunity for me, I think, to take this Arizona team at plus money or close to damn near even money, depending on the book that you have. And light her up. Let's get going. Let's move on. Next game on the card, 7:10 p.m. Shout out to the birthday boy himself, Nasty Nate. Here we go. Detroit Tigers, Boston Red Sox for us in this game here. We got a line that opened up at minus 158, 77% of the bets, only 43% of the cash, only 43. Kind of a split between where the sharp cash is lying here. In fact, more of the bigger cash is coming in on the Detroit Tigers. The line has moved from Boston minus 158 to Boston minus 165. Then we look at the total, and it's gone from 8.5 to shading to the under. 81% of the bets and 78% of the cash on the over. We got Tanner Houck. We got, where's my buddy Dave? Dave, we got Maeda. We got Maeda on the bump. You know, Dave. 5.8 ERA for Maeda, 2-1 on the season. And then Tanner Houck with a 1.9 ERA and 4-5 on the season for this guy as well. We look at this game right now. Again, it's the birthday boy's opportunity to see. There he is. like a juvenile, It still makes me laugh. Let's go. Let's talk here. Look, not a lot to talk about for me in this one here. I like Detroit. I thought it was a good Detroit spot here to get involved with. Look at Boston, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. When you look at these lineups and you look both sides of the lineups here, I specifically had this one pulled up. As I was looking, we've got wind coming in from kind of across the field into the right dugout at 9.2 miles an hour. Now, it's nice conditions. We got about 69, 70 degrees of favorable 70. We got nice weather out there, right? Let's just leave it at that. Then we look at who's been hitting these guys. Tanner Houck, he's got, he's mowed everybody down but Badeau, who's number 6 in the lineup for Detroit, 3 at-bats, 1 hit. And he's got several at-bat appearances there, at-plate appearances against the mix of the lineup. Riley Green, Matt Vierling, Gio Urshela. We just talked about Ibanez, McKinstry. I mean, just about the entire lineup's got multiple looks at this guy. and they can't hit him. Nobody's hit him. Well, but do hit him. One hit on him. And the entire lineup, the entire fucking team, one hit on Tanner Houck. Then we look on the other side of things. Maeda, Dave's boy. What do we got going on over there? Jaron Durant, 1 at-bat, no hits. Weiler Abreu, no hits, no C. Connor Wong, 1 at-bat, no hits. Rafael Devers, Mr. Boston, 7 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. The rest of the squad hasn't seen the guy at all, period. No looks at these guys here. Huge advantage to this pitching staff. With the win coming in, what do we got with Boston? When Boston's in the home favorite role, the under rings through. 5-16-1 to the under. Give me the under 8.5 in that spot for me in this game here, especially seeing the reverse line movement opportunity. Check those boxes. I thought about jumping in on Detroit, but it's Nasty Nate's birthday. I'm going to go easy on fading his Boston guys there. But I do like this under. I think this is a great under spot in this situation tonight, in this opportunity that we have in front of us. Take that under. Let's roll. Let's go. Kelsey says, what did Mikey look like in high school? The same young strapping man that you see in front of you, but a little less gray in the beard. Let's roll on here at Oakland and Atlanta. Guys, I already gave this one out on Jimmy's show earlier today. And I'll tell you how I got there. First of all, hopefully you took it earlier today. Oakland and the under 8.5 was plus 425. That's the old grandma wearing your sister's panties again play of the day. That being said, this line is dropping. 8.5 now down to 8s. This isn't, the thing about this Astros team is it's not just fade them because they're not hitting. I mean, they're clearly not hitting. And it's not just fade them because they don't have Acuna. No, I mean, I get all of that as well, but maybe the public's starting to catch on now. The thing is that, when you look at Atlanta, when they're in that situation where they're less than a plus 165 dog, meaning they're a favorite all the way down to a plus 165 dog, their under's been hitting at almost 80% this Major League Baseball season. So you got to kind of play the numbers and where they line up on the squad. But then when we look at this total, we see this thing's dropped. Again, reverse line movement, 69% of the bet, 65% of the cash. Then we look and we've got Lopez. We're now Lopez on the bump for Atlanta with that 1.75 ERA. Makes sense that we see this under movement. Then we see JP Sears. As far as that Oakland team's concerned, probably the best guy they got there from a pitching staff perspective with a 3.88 ERA. And, kind of two teams moving in opposite directions. Right now, you look at what's going on with this Atlanta team here, and 1-3 in their last 4 games, all against the Nationals. The Nationals hammered them, boys. We, of course, cashed yesterday with that big spot. And we're going to roll back to it. I told you guys that Atlanta, we've cashed this thing now. I think is it 7 times in the last 12 days that we've taken a fade on the Atlanta side and the under and cashed? Something to that degree. Then I look at the otthe side of things, and I looked at Oakland. I like the under more than anything in this game. Not only did we talk about Atlanta and their situation in their spot start there with the line being priced where it is, but when you have a team with a starter that's off and under in the first game of a series and a loss, they're 27-1 to the under that following game, that first game of the series. They're smoking the under. They're going under by almost 3 runs per game. Team with a starter off and under in the first game of a series off a loss, 27-1. Both these teams coming off that loss that previous game. It is the first game of the series out there. And I looked at this at 8.5 and I thought, well, you know what? This Oakland team isn't any worse than that Nationals team that went out there. Maybe comparably, I guess, AL versus NL, but one side or the other, I went with give me Oakland to take this opportunity and the under 8.5. And it was plus 425. We're going to roll right back to that trend, right back to that system that has been cashing for us and going to continue to kind of pound away on it until it starts to buck. And it hasn't bucked on us yet. All this money pouring in on the Atlanta Braves here. Good sneaky spot. You can get cute with it too. If you wanted to be a little more safe and you didn't want to go for that big score, Oakland plus 1.5 and the under still going to pay you around 285 to 300 depending on your book. But for me, it's going for these price tags, you guys. We've talked about it time and again. It's time to go and try to swing for the fences where we have the opportunities. Speaking of the opportunities, we got the San Diego Padres and the Kansas City Royals as the next game up. we got a line that is, oh, what happened here? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. San Diego Padres moved from minus 134 to minus 135 with 57% of the bets and 62% of the cash. Money's been coming in pretty consistently all day on these Padres. And the line's starting to balloon. And the best number you can get out there is minus 135, but a lot of the books have seen this thing run some more. Now here comes the proverbial question. What the fuck happened with this total? 8.5 is where it started. It's down to 7.5 in most books out there. 98% of the bets, 98% of the cash are I should say most books, but we're seeing 7.5s. Slightly shaded to the over, so it's not a true 7.5, but it's the full run movement to the under. Someone's probably getting touched in this game. Someone's probably getting touched. This is, however, though, the non-divisional road favorite with rest spot that I talked about in that Texas Rangers game. 2 spots on the dashboard today that lit up a bunk like a Christmas tree across the board. And it is the San Diego Padres as the second side of this thing. So minus 135 still available out there. If you want to take the -1, the average margin in those spots is almost 2.25 runs. So that should be fine to go out there and take it. But when you see these opportunities, we got Dylan Cease and Michael Waka Waka going on out there. Waka Waka's got the 4.31 ERA. He's 4-5 on the season. Dylan Cease, probably due for some regression. He's probably in that regression candidate pool that we talked about yesterday. We know Kauffman Stadium can be that hitter-friendly ballpark out there. So unders, I think, certainly could be in jeopardy here. But this is a spot where I just looked at these numbers and thought, Louis Arise, that's the guy I was thinking of. That. I don't know why. I scrolled through and I just saw him here with San Diego. I don't know why it took me that long to remember that it was Louis Arise out there. But, we talked about this Kansas City Royals team a couple times now. We've been picking on these guys. They kind of got to that kind of, that intersection point where they had 8-9 straight wins going on there. Then they got into that Minnesota series. Minnesota had the losses rolling on there. We intersected and we flipped them and said, these tough to win 10 in a row. You got to start to fade these guys because the typical team's going to be around 5-5. We found those fade spots for this Kansas City Royals team, and we've been spot on with them. The one spot that we did double dip there, we took the first 5 in the full game. It was the only game that they won, 6-1 in the series out there. On the other side of things with the Padres, firing. They bring in Dylan Cease. That's the crown jewel to the pitching, empire that they have going on out there. Then they bring in Louis Arise. Just 2 teams moving in different directions here. San Diego Padres, good value on this thing to take this price the way it is. I just straight played it, just a single spot for me with San Diego. I was yay close to bumping in San Diego and Texas. San Diego and Texas, because they both fell into that spot. But, the non-divisional road favorite with rest, 160 and 65 in that position. But I couldn't get there. I just kept them separate. I mean, it's certainly good parlay pieces, I think, with the consistency in those numbers. That's a huge winning formula or winning rate in our direction. But we will see what happens as we roll on. What's going on with you guys in the chat here? I see a whole bunch of banter. What's the deal? Kelly V's up in the house. Gerald Jones says Atlanta, #1 team to the under in MLB this season. Fuck yeah. Great trend right there. There's my guy, Picks from Dave, says under nice in that game, but took Sears over outs. Sounds like a same game parlay, Dave. Thanks for sharing, my guy. Picks from Dave. Jeff Dahmer says Cheshire here, huh? Let's go, Cheshire. I figured as much. Kelly says probably add Bouchard and Edmonton to a little parlay. That makes sense. Might as well get Draisaitl in there. Let's go. Kelsey says, you guys are fun. Everyone's fun today. It's happy Friday. Man, Bear Pig says someone's getting touched. Kelly, the only way I can look is KC. Mike, you said KC night games go under, but I like KC -1. Non-divisional road favorites with rest. Non-divisional road favorites with rest. Great spot for Dylan Cease and company. Mitchie Morber in the house says, what you guys up too early bet? My up too early bet. Arizona for me is the up too early bet. Because I had to max that thing out and then go back and play some more on that thing. So that was my up too early spot. Kelly says San Diego, tons of travel. Cease is bad form. Well, we'll see. That's why they got to play the game. Picture Dave said, big show. You still here? It's the big show. Markel says, I took reverse run line Twins -1.5 today. Jeffrey D says, I don't sneak this. I'm not sure if I'm reading things properly. Dunya says, at this point, Cheshire, jeez, you guys. Lucas Betts says the Orioles money line tonight from our guy Lucas out there. Yeah, Man Bear Pick says, yeah, Lucas Betts, I'm with you on that. Doug says Cubs shit the bed. They did shit the bed. Worked out well. I was on the Reds. Kelly D says under in the St. Louis. Mike is on 2. Hell yeah, under in that game. And St. Louis out there. I don't want the hex. You don't want to start talking about don't believe in jinxes. I don't believe in jinxes. I do believe in jinxes, and I also don't believe in talking about run rates. How many runs in a row? How many wins in a row have you gotten? Those two things are fucking bad juju, my friends. Bad medicine out there. Let's roll on. Let's talk about this next game that I got in the portfolio. 2 more baseball games. 3 more baseball games. Woo, look at that. That's why we open up. We're winning. We're winners on the diamond, just like we were winners across the sports landscape here. We're going to go and see if we can't roll it up here. Minnesota and Houston, you guys are talking about it. Hopefully you got that cancel feature available for you guys. The Astros here opened up as even money favorites, or even money spot there. The Minnesota Twins, the road favorite. 69% of the bets, 73% of the cash on them Stros. It's moved from plus 100 to minus 110. Check the box for correlated movement with the cash flow. Then we see a total that is dropping. 8.5 down to 8s. We have 80% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. On the over in that spot. And yet it's dropping. We've got Ronald Blanco. We've got Pablo Lopez. Blanco, 1.99 ERA, 5-0 on the season. Phenomenal. Not only that, he's 8-1 in his last 9 starts. The guy's a fucking trained assassin. Then we see Pablo Lopez with a 5.25 ERA. He's not the Pablo Lopez of yesteryear. It's a tricky spot for these boys here. I think, first of all, Minnesota melts down when they play a good pitcher. You can define good pitcher however you want, but a sub 2.5 ERA and an undefeated record is a good pitcher. When I say meltdown, they're 4-24 when they face a strong pitcher, a good pitcher like Ronald Blanco on the bump out there. Now, on top of that, I talked to you guys about this the other day. The number 1 Yerfie team in Major League Baseball was the Houston Astros. Now, we know that Seattle series, we were taking Nerfies, or I was taking Nerfies and benefiting from those spots because divisional game opportunities, they see each other a ton. They can go out there and get through the top of the order. All bets are off now in this spot here. I think Minnesota's going to struggle with these bats. Not only that, Houston's got the lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball at 17.9%. You got a guy in Lopez who likes to have that ground ball kind of contact pitching situation out there. There's going to be ducks on the pond every time he steps his toes on that bump. And then you got a team that doesn't strike out. They show plate discipline. They got a 39.5% hard hit rate. They're going to go out there and smoke this dude. I think it's going to be a bad spot for the Minnesota Twins tonight. I was just close to, how did I want to jump into it? I've got the Twins. I've got the Astros. I got them at minus 110. It's still continuing to climb. It's gone to minus 114s, minus 115s. I was tempted to jump in on this under as well. I've got the 110 as an official play for me right now. The Houston and the under 7.5 is this fucking close. I don't see Minnesota Twins doing shit tonight when it comes down to it. I think you got to ride this guy here. I've been, full disclosure and candid about pitchers that I think are close to the regression, candidacy here. I don't know that Ronald Blanco's in that spot just yet either. To me, it just seems like this is a good opportunity for the Stros team. If that under 7.5 was an 8 at plus 265, I'd be jumping in on it. But even if you make it an 8, it's still going to be around plus 220. It's just outside the cusp for me of the parlay together, the team and the total spot there. But I wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to jump in on that under. Houston for me, minus 110 is an official play for you guys. Close to taking that under. I think it's a big opportunity for Ronald Blanco. Taking on that slumping Twins offense out there. Another team that we talked about in that Kansas City series where red hot for so long due to being that regression candidacy here. And Houston's got to bounce back. Big spot for Houston tonight. Let's roll on. Juggler 23 says the chat's turning into a kindergarten. I don't know about, Juggler 23, there was a time where we just came in here. We were all mentally sane, stable, and trying to win bets. Shit's popped off the wheels. I don't know what happened. Let's go. Next game in the arsenal here. 2 games left in Major League Baseball. 1 WNBA spot. And then we will put the bow on this show, you guys. San Francisco Giants, New York Yankees opened up here. The San Francisco Giants at plus 118, 75% of the bets and 95% of the cash. Love these Yankees. Love them. But the lines dropped 3 cents from minus 138 to minus 135. Big reverse movement there against these Yankees. This is a San Fran spot all day. This is the third road series for these Yankees. We talked about these teams hitting in clusters, in bunches. We got Hicks on the bump. Talk about a strong and accomplished pitcher, a 2.33 ERA, 4-1 on the season. Stroman, 2.76 ERA, and what is he, 4-2 on the season as well. I'm more comfortable looking at the last 7 days than probably most. And when I look at the last 7 days, yeah, I see these Yankees. Yeah, they touched up the Angels 8-3. They lost 1 4-3. They lost 1 2-1. They lost their last game as well to the San Diego Padres out there. Difficult travel spot for this team. We talk about, I think Kelly D had mentioned the travel situation for San Diego previously. Talk about that with these Yankees stuffed on this West Coast road trip. And what we saw when the Boston Red Sox opened the season off is they came out strong early. But the middle towards the end of the road trip, things are starting to kind of get a little wobbly, a little dicey. You know, shout out to Juan Soto and, Aaron Judge. I believe the number was 30-plus walks and 15-plus home runs. First Major League Baseball duo to do that before the month of June in the history of Major League Baseball. Scares the shit out of everybody. If you don't walk them, they're hitting home runs. But I think this is going to be a tricky little batting situation for him tonight as you look at this lineup here. And I just like this opportunity with this price for San Fran at Oracle Park. You know, San Fran's in a bounce back opportunity as well. They're trying to get some momentum going here. And, this price to me, if the Yankees and Stroman were going to come out there, the Stro show on the road, we're going to go dice. I think this thing would be probably more like a minus 160. So this is just kind of a read of the line. I looked at the San Fran and the under 7.5 in that spot as well at plus 275. I didn't pull the trigger on that one either. Just give me San Fran plus 118. We don't need to be greedy. There's 115s, 114s, and 110s out there. So it is starting to come down, reverse line movement. And then last but not least, you guys, I'm looking at this Dodgers game, Los Doyers. And I talked to some of you guys about this in the chat on Jimmy the Bags show earlier today. And the spot that I was looking at here, the Dodgers in this case here against them Rockies, I think too many people are hitting the old crack pipe because here I'm hearing Rockies and I'm saying, Rockies, the fuck are you talking about here? The Dodgers, yeah, not the best things rolling here, but I mean, it's minus 350. So if you're playing the fade, the minus 300 plus spot there, I get it. I guess I understand this theory, but some teams belong being in the price range that they are. This Dodgers team is one of them. They scored 10 runs versus the Mets on Wednesday. They're 11-0 in the first game of a series when they scored 8 or more the previous game. They're averaging almost 7 runs a game. They've scored at least 4 in all 11 of those games. Somebody had asked me earlier today, I said, the minus 3.5 for the Dodgers is plus 170. I believe it was plus 170. And the minus 2.5 for the Dodgers was sitting in the price range around even money or so. So big gap, maybe it was plus 120. Big gap between the 2.5 and the 3.5 tells me that the number should be at 3. Somebody asked, well, what about the team total? Well, the team total is 5.5. The way I went at this one here is I wanted to take advantage of the starting pitching situation here. We've got Buehler and Hudson. Dakota Hudson's got a 5.54 ERA. He's 1-7. 1-7 means he's losing when he's handing the ball over to other pitchers that are coming in there to relief staff. If they're going to lose, to me, it's the Dodgers scoring some runs. And that Dodgers first 5 team total over 2.5 is priced at minus 130. I love that spot. To me, that was the opportunity to hit this thing. Because it's a later game, I still may get involved in the moving from 2.5 to 3.5. But for me, the official play I'm giving you guys today, right now, I'm taking advantage of the fact that this team just continues to hit. They put runs on there, and I think they get to Dakota Hudson. Dodgers, first 5, team total, over 2.5, minus 130, minus 130. A little pricier than the rest of the card that we have tonight, but we're still going to have a tremendous ROI playing across the board. So, Nasty Nate says, big gaps are never very good. Kelsey says, Granny, lounging in sister's panties play is Oakland game and under 8.5. It is. I don't know if she's lounging. if she's prancing, if she's dancing. I don't know what she's doing in those panties, but I know it's Oakland in the under 8.5, Kelsey. That's the way we're getting after it. And that's Stevie G in the house. It's his first matchup of these divisional teams this year. What's up, Steve G? Doug says, good one, Mikey. Let's get this paper. Look, last spot. I'm not excited about it after hearing Juggler 23 talk about this with the WNBA, but I think this is a tricky spot for this Wings and Sun game right now. Here's Sun at home, Mohegan Sun. The Wings, impressive run with what these Wings have going on right now, but with 57% of the bets, we only have 35% of the cash on the Wings. The line's moved from 6.5 to 8. Even starting to see some 8.5s out there. We know the Sun are undefeated. Weird spot, though. 2-4 on the spread this season, right? They won that first game against Caitlin Clark. Then they covered that last game as well. Then we look at the Dallas Wings. They're only 3-2 on the season, but they're 4-1 against the spread. Team covers. Just can't seem to find a way to consistently win out there. And for me, this is an opportunity with the home team and the Sun. You know, the Wings, let me go with the Wings for a minute. You know, kind of their top three have been playing phenomenal basketball right now. They're all sitting over 500 in terms of their success and shooting rates. But, you know, you look at this and they've got 2 wins since they lost Natasha Howard. One of those wins, I can't say her last name. Is it Ugamwale went for 40. That actually might be because of the difficulty in which I had to say it. That might be pretty accurate. She went for 40 points in one of those games that they were able to get that victory out there. Reverse line movement. And, you know, this line's moving despite, I think it's just an overvaluation of what this team is doing out there. Natasha Howard's a big piece to the offense for that Dallas Wings team right now. And the line has moved appropriately. The sharper cash is coming in. The public, the 64% of the bets are buying in on this Wings team because they see that they're 4-1 against the spread. Well, they're covering the spread. They're getting the job done. But when you dig deeper, when you pull the covers up and you see that their star players are out or one of them's out and the other two have beyond stepped up, it's the star player theory. The first time the star player goes out, the team steps up. The times after that, things become difficult. We're in a difficult spot right now. I think 8.5 for me with the Sun is the place to go. I think that's the way to get this cash for me. I know there's 4 games across the board, but I loaded up in Major League Baseball. So I was less excited to Cliff Yang. We got off the rails a little last night, Cliff Yang. It was a lot of fun out there. And, you know, we made a lot of cash with it, but you know, shout out to Billy Briz because he is in the weeds when it comes to knowing the details and the depth of what's going on day to day in those player profiles. Try to kind of be a little bit more selective with the spots. We've had a nice WNBA run. Not as nice as our Major League Baseball season. We're up 20 units and trying to keep her rolling. But that's going to do it, you guys. Sadly, you know, we're at the end of the show. And, you know, like all good things, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. And it's the end of last call. We are in the dog days of summer. The decision here, there's just not enough sports to cap for you guys at 6 p.m. So I'm sad to make the announcement, but I appreciate all you guys hanging out, spending all your time with me here, 6 p.m., all the guests, all the panels. Shout out to everybody that came in and rocked with us. You're going to find me over. We're going to do something different. I'll be over on my channel doing some things here. We'll be back in the fall to get her running and gunning again when the sports season gets moving. So that being said, you guys, I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity here, not just with spending the time with you guys, Jeff Slaughter and Pub Sports Radio, Jimmy the Bag, the cast, and the crew. Always love hanging out with you guys and getting to grind. We're going to continue to grind. We're going to reinvent the way that we grind here. You know, look, some of these days we just have 2 or 3 games rolling. It's not enough. It's just not enough. You know, threading the needle is one thing, but look, we'll let them other boys cover this baseball thing. They'll get themselves back into 500 and get you guys moving in the right direction. We're going to keep doing it. Look for me out there. Follow me at PimpSlapPOD on X. We will continue to provide content, live streams. We'll give you guys, we're going to have a show. It's not going to be last call, but there will be a show out there for you guys to catch my angles, my trends, my analysis. I keep doing this shit on the daily. It ain't going to stop. It won't stop. It can't stop. And appreciate all you guys. Shout out to my guy, T. Did a terrific job getting things rolling, getting all the graphics done. Every time I asked him to do anything, he was quick to respond. He took the vision and he brought it to reality out there. So I respect that and appreciate hardest working guy out there grinding on the daily for me and all of Pub Sports Radio. Appreciative and fortunate to have a guy like that. All you guys in the chat, Jeffrey Dahmer, Dan, Kelsey, Katie Nguyen out there, Kelly V, John Chell, Ice Viking, Justin McKelvey, Aubrey Travis, Nasty Nate, happy birthday to the birthday boy, Amsterdam. What else? Steve G, Lee Davis, Silent Rob, picks from Dave, Doug. Shout out to all you guys that came in here, rocking and rolling with us, making that cash. Left you guys in good hands. We netted just around 75 units on the show. And I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Good luck. Get that cash, and I'll see you guys up and around as we do it on the regular. Again, follow me at pimp/POD. I'll have that YouTube page up and running. We already got it out there, Mikey Money, and I'll see you guys real soon. Get that cash. Have a great weekend. Stay pumping.